when I told her don't do it again. Because it's not, it's not a good thing to do.
And you've told me that before.
I've told you that before.
And I didn't stop.
You didn't stop.
But I'm not sorry.
Well, that's why we're friends.
Yeah.
That's what I love. That's what I love about it. That's really it.
Hey,
how you doing?
Sorry.
Didn't see you there. Hi. Welcome to Film Talk. I'm Peter Falls.
I'm Jack Manklin.
I'm Nick Nasby.
And I'm Jake Lorber.
Today we're going to be talking about God-like symbols, religious allegories in film. Different styles that filmmakers use to represent God-like figures to sort of move the plot forward, reinforce the mise-en-scène.
Yeah, and we aren't talking about explicitly religious films. You aren't going to get any Bruce Almighty, no angels in the outfield.
None of that stuff.
But
That's too literal.
Sort of the presence of the divine within these specific characters.
Right.
And the way that shapes the film, their godlike qualities.
Absolutely.
We're going to be seeing a scene from Citizen Kane, a scene from Network, and a scene from There Will Be Blood.
Yeah. Really good. Cover a lot of ground, I think, with those three films. Range about half a century, at least. And yeah, so I think it's really cool. You can see this sort of progression from theatrical, I don't want to say obvious filmmaking, but something that's sort of derived from the play, into something that's a little more gritty and down to earth, in my opinion. Yeah.
Start off with the clip?
Oh, should we start with the clip? Yeah, let's watch the clip.
It starts out with this long tracking shot, zooming into a very small man with a giant picture of himself behind him. And it appears as if people are worshiping him. He has all of his followers sitting in front of him, and he's speaking to them.
Absolutely. I mean, even when it zooms in, it doesn't ever really get too tight. You still have that backdrop behind him. You still give him all this space. You can feel him.
Right. There's that angled shot from below that sets him next to the picture.
Right.
Showing him as that almost a giant deity.
Sure. You got these great cuts to his kids, and he's sort of, waving them off. And really, he's on a different level, and you see that sort of foreshadowing for when he...
So now I'll be elected. Very well then. Now I can afford to make some promises. The working man, and the slum child know they can expect my best efforts in their interests.
We're going to move on to our next scene. This is from Network, a movie directed by Sidney Lumet. In this scene, the religious parallels are more of that of the main character as a prophet as opposed to a god. He's more of a Jesus figure.
The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write.
Seems the more, I don't know, excited and riled up that Finch's character get, the closer the shots become.
Sure.
And the more it becomes, about him
Yeah.
as a person and his presence in the room.
The more intimate, yeah, definitely.
But also his message is much less contrived than Kane's. He's saying something that he actually means, whereas Kane is saying something to gain something.
I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore!
I think it's very important in this scene also to note that, even while he's talking, there's cuts to other people who are in the studio.
Right, it's real.
There's the cut.
This guy right here following him.
Right, there's the
boom,
cameraman
yeah.
following him. You know, there's the cut to the people watching from home. And, you know, this man may seem crazy, but there's still all these people who, you know, are intent on listening to him.
Absolutely.
And hearing what he has to say.
Now we're going to move on to There Will Be Blood, a P.T. Anderson film made in 2008, starring Daniel Day-Lewis and Paul Dano. Basically, the clip that we're going to show is Daniel Day-Lewis being baptized, but basically only for his benefit, for gaining a pipeline that he's been so desperately seeking.
A new member. I'll ask it again. Is there a sinner here looking for God?
Yes.
I mean, this is arguably one of the greatest performances
Yeah, Daniel Day-Lewis
by man or beast.
It's incredible. And this is the first scene we have that's obviously explicitly in, you know, it's in a church.
Right.
Paul Dano's character Eli is preaching to the community.
I mean, you get that cross there behind him. It's very bright light,
Right.
Which, you know, you could argue is less intimate because it's less suspenseful. You know, you're not quite in the scene. However, you see everyone for, you know, who they truly are.
Right.
I mean, I think this scene reveals almost everything about both of these characters in this movie. You know, you have the two godlike figures, Paul Dano, who is heaven, and Daniel Day-Lewis, who is hell. You know, clearly hell. And I just think this is a really powerful scene because you see these two kind of fight it out, and it forebodes a lot of the future conflict they will have.
Right.
Louder, I am a sinner.
I am a sinner.
Louder, Daniel, I am a sinner.
I am a sinner.
I am sorry, Lord.
I am sorry, Lord.
I want the blood.
I want the blood.
You have abandoned your child.
I've abandoned my child.
I will never backslide.
I will never backslide.
I was lost, but now I am found.
I was lost, but now I'm found.
I have abandoned my child. Say it.
I abandoned my child.
Say it louder. Say it louder.
I've abandoned my child! I've abandoned my child! I've abandoned my boy!
Beg for the blood.
And that close-up shot just, it emphasizes, I mean, along with Daniel Day-Lewis's facial expressions and his acting,
It's amazing.
how we know exactly how he feels.
Absolutely.
About what's going on. You know,
Right
he knows
there.
he has to do this. He wants that pipeline.
So what we're led to believe is that he's the light and Daniel Day's the dark, when they really are both the dark. You know, they're sort of
Right.
both like, what'd you say? You said they're both...
They're both driven by power.
Right.
Even in this shot, you know, Daniel Day-Lewis, they're both illuminated by the light coming in from the cross.
Do you accept Jesus Christ as your Savior?
Yes, I do.
Would you be free from the burden of sin? There's power in the blood. Power in the blood. Would you reveal spirit?
That was great. That was really good.
Yeah, that's nice.
That was really nice. Interesting stuff. Really interesting stuff. Well, I think that's all the time we have. We got Mass coming in here in a couple minutes. And I guess we just wanted to thank you for your time.
Thanks for coming. I hope you enjoyed our talk about God in film.
Go to church.
Go to church,
Yeah, go
do
to
your
church.
homework,
You're
watch
gonna go to
movies.
hell if you don't.
That's probably what will happen.
You're gonna die.
You know what I love is that people always think, oh, there's no hell. Isn't that
Yeah.
the new, that's the new
And then
thing
it's
now?
like, oh,
Atheism.
but there
Oh, wait, but there